Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Mascarenas, and today my presentation is going to be on Mardi Gras, the history of it, and all the good and bad surrounding it. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the origins of Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is also known as Carnival or Carnival. The word carnival derives from the feasting tradition. In medieval Latin, the word carnivellum means to take away or remove meat, and Mardi is the French word for Tuesday, and Gras means fat. In France, the day before Ash Wednesday became known as Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday. The origins of Mardi Gras can be traced back to medieval Europe to the French House of the Bourbons. On March 2, 1699, French-Canadian explorer Jean-Baptiste Le Moyen-Sur de Bienville arrived at a plot of land 60 miles south of New Orleans and named it Pointe de Mardi Gras, when his men realized it was the eve of the festive holiday. In 1703, the settlement of Fort Louis de Mobile celebrated America's very first Mardi Gras. New Orleans was officially established in 1718 by Bienville, and by the 1730s, Mardi Gras was celebrated openly in New Orleans. In the early 1740s, the Louisiana governor, the Marquis de Riaudel, held elegant society balls, becoming the model for New Orleans Mardi Gras balls of today. In the decades that followed, New Orleans and other French settlements began marking the holiday with street parties, mass balls, and lavish dinners. But when the Spanish took control of New Orleans, they abolished these rituals, and they remained abolished until Louisiana became a state in 1812. In 1827, on Mardi Gras, a group of students wore colorful costumes and danced through the streets of New Orleans, emulating what they'd observed while visiting in Paris. And 10 years later, the first Mardi Gras parade took place with these same customs. In 1857, a secret society of New Orleans businessmen called the Mystic Crew of Calm organized a torchlit Mardi Gras procession with marching bands and rolling floats, setting the tone for future celebrations. Other Mardi Gras traditions include throwing beads and trinkets, wearing masks, decorating floats, and eating king cake. The crews were introduced by dazzling gaslight torches or flambeaux, lighting the way for them. In 1856, 6 young Mobile natives formed the Mystic Crew of Calms. The Calms brought magic and mystery to New Orleans with their floats and masked balls. The crew members prefer to remain anonymous. In 1870, Mardi Gras' second crew, the 12th Night Revelers, was formed. They were the first recorded accounts of the Mardi Gras throws, which is throwing of the beads, and in general, most Mardi Gras crews developed from private social clubs with restrictive membership policies. Some of the music that is played during Mardi Gras is jazz, and here is an example of the music. This song that I'm going to play is When the Saints Go Marching Out. This would be played when the people are walking through the streets of New Orleans to get to the next party or celebration, and it is also played by street performers to emulate the art of New Orleans and Mardi Gras. The next topic of Mardi Gras I'm going to cover is the religious significance of the celebration. Mardi Gras is a Christian holiday dating back thousands of years to pagan spring and fertility rites on the day before Lent begins, and is not only exclusive to New Orleans. When Christianity first arrived in Rome, religious leaders decided to incorporate their popular local traditions into the new faith. As a result, Mardi Gras season became a prelude to Lent. Along with Christianity, Mardi Gras spread from Rome to other European cities, reaching all over the world. It is celebrated on Fat Tuesday, the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday, and proceeds for almost 2 weeks, and in some areas it evolved into a single week-long festival. The next topic I'm going to talk about is Congo Square. When New Orleans was under Spanish rule, they redepicted Sunday as a day of rest and gave their slaves the afternoon off, allowing them to socialize. They entertained themselves by composing music and dancing. The city leaders allowed the slaves to congregate, but outside of the city, in an open area north of Rampart Street. This area became known as the Place des Nègres, most commonly known as Place Congo. By the time the Americans took control of the city, it had grown, and this gathering point was named Congo Square. It was the place where the slaves could be themselves without the fear of prosecution. They would bring drums, bells, and other instruments to the square, and gather by tribe to play music, sing, and dance. African American performance traditions in the Crescent City developed out of the dances that used to take place on Sundays in Congo Square. The Black Indians can be traced back to the ancient kingdom of Congo and its war dance known as Sacramento. The enslaved Congolese brought rhythm, dance moves, and their feathered headwear of the Sacramentos to the Americans in performances that came to be known as Congo dances today. And the final section that I'm going to be talking about is focuses on the racism that can be seen in the celebrations of Mardi Gras and some of the good things that have come out of the celebration. The crux of Mardi Gras was the reaffirmation of white dominance and efforts to suppress or abolish black rights. In 1873, the themes for certain parades, the costumes of the crews, and the imagery incorporated on floats inscribed and reinforced white supremacy and Southern nobility. Some performative gestures and public displays protested rights which were extended to African Americans in the 14th and 15th Amendments, which extended citizenship to African Americans and gave African Americans the right to be free. The segregation and exclusionary practices of the crews was strategically intended to reinforce the racial, social class, and gender hierarchies. It was not until 1922 that New Orleans passed legislation to desegregate the Mardi Gras crews. Colorism excluded from black organizations or societies who were not multiracial Creoles, fair-skinned, or black elites. Anglo-Americans, mostly Protestants, wanted to prohibit festivals because it encouraged social mixing, and in a city and a state that witnessed the greatest uprising of enslaved people in American history. The first modern parade organization, the Mystic Krewe of Coms, was established in 1856 and functioned as a secret society, its membership was invitation only, with its members being exclusively white and male. No females allowed. The Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club originated in the early 1900s, and they made their first public appearance on parade routes with their signatures clothes consisting of grass skirts, blackface, bushy wigs, hairstyles, and exaggerated aesthetics. They mocked the revolutionary gesture to white-created caricatures of black identity, and they embraced their black identity. In contrast, these parades also became a tool for those marginalized to reclaim agency and control of their public space. It centered on cross-dressing and performance, which could be seen as the real melting pot that America promised, and the working-class black communities dominated their sections of the city, and Mardi Gras was developed, the Mardi Gras Indians, which showed the kinship between the New Orleans black population and the indigenous groups. The baby dolls were also part of it, and they were sex workers who took back their gender and social society norms by smoking cigarettes and everything.